All right, what's up, everybody? It's your old buddy Josh. Old buddy Josh in the house. Let me just make sure we're good to go here. All right. Looking good there. All right, hold on just a second. So listen to some Reverend Horton Heat just a few minutes ago. Oh man, you gotta love some the Rev. Do you know there's no swallows in Texas? Ain't no swallows in Texas. Who knew? Who knew? All right, let's see what. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. There we go. Looking good. It looks like we're ready to rock and roll. All right. Kids are doing the homework. Wife is out of town. All right, good. So let's rock it. Oops, hold on a second. Okay, I got to verify it's me. All right. Oops. I'll do that later. All right. So good. All right. So good stuff. See, Mark's in the house. Right on, Mark from PA. Noonan checking in. Marie from PA. This guy says, do you look at annual discretionary bonuses when trying to decide if a home is affordable or just base salary? The key word there is discretionary. Seems to me if you got to go that far and to try to afford a home, that the home is probably not affordable, brother. If you're trying to hold on a second. If you're trying to justify your ability to afford it by A, taking a debt, obviously, B is by how much you're going to get and discretionary bonuses, which are inherently discretionary. I wouldn't, no way. Chicken Charlie, Dan, right on. Dan's in the house. Hans, all right. Happy Monday, Denise. Horseshoe Bay, Texas, right on. Not familiar with that. Let's say this got guys. Hold on just a second. Michael Lewis in the house, right on. I was going to start with something I thought was kind of funny. Just a real Tom Major from Maryland. Now I'm not on Rumble, Jeremy. It's just the I can't stand. I can't see the comments on it. It just drives me crazy. So I'm just not on it. At some point, I'll just go to Rumble only live streams. I haven't done it yet. I need to. But I wish. But once Rumble works better, I'll do it. But right now, I'm not on there. One of these days. All right, so Ray in the house. Oh, back in New Jersey, says Mark. Right on, man. Why doesn't your 401k statement show dividends? Might. I mean, I think it show activity. Say my name, Josh. Pooping while standing. All right, just did. Yeah, your 401ks should show the statements. It'll show activity, and that will show the dividends it pays out. So yeah, I think it does. All right, I just want to share with you something real quick, just to get. I agree, Jeremy. I mean, I like Rumble a lot. I'm on Rumble probably almost as much as YouTube now. Yep, Rumble really screwed up. Jeremy, you got the Rumble app. I've just seen as of last night. I said, what the hell is going on here? So I was like, look on the Rumble app. All right, and so then we're gonna go to some of my subscriptions. All right, so I go to my subscriptions. I click on my subscriptions, and I get this right here. There's Viva Frey, and I get that. So it used to be able to see the videos there. Now I can't. It's the weirdest thing. So it drives me up the wall. So anyway, so here's some of my subscriptions. There's Viva Frey. So okay, what does he got for a new video? And you used to be able to see it right there. But now it just says email frequency, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's the weirdest thing, man. I don't understand why it's doing that. All my subscriptions. So now I got to go to my the main page right here, and you'll see all this stuff on the front, on the top, going back and forth like that. But that's not what I want. I don't want all that. I want to see the subscriptions. Anyway, I'm not sure what the hell's going on in Rumble. It's getting on my nerves, though. Getting on my nerves. So that's weird. So now I gotta literally type in the people I want to see. I gotta type them in, and I don't like that. So anyway, update the app. Dude, Okay, I didn't think about that. How do you do that, Ray? Update the app. We got to delete it and bring it back on. I don't even see a way to update it.
Sending stuff over to the Senate.
Is Nancy Pelosi in DC? There's a bunch of dumb people, but is Nancy Pelosi the dumbest person there is? Who's dumber, Kamala or Nancy? I'm not sure how to update the app. Maybe I'll figure that out. All right. Not familiar with Rumble. Oh man, come on. Here from Hungary. All right. Hey, what's going on out there, man? What's going on in Hungary? Cheers. Say hi to Orban for me. Oh, he's sorry. I do have the Rumble app. 99% of the videos I watch on my phone. Me too. That's what I'm saying, though. I don't watch hardly any videos, but it's like with Rumble now, I can't see the subscriptions I'm subscribed to. They don't show. I mean, here's I don't get it. Why? It's the weirdest thing, man. Very odd. It just shows email frequency. It doesn't show the videos. All right, there must be a thing going on. Maybe I'll have to send them an email. Say, what the hell's going on? All right. Yeah, right on. About 2 miles from Walt Whitman. Right on, man. So you got the Ben Franklin and Walt Whitman. So you're down there in even more southern Jersey. Right on. Yeah, I don't see the Fed. I mean, look, the Fed raises 7. I see. All right, here's the thing. The Fed, they're not going to be able to beat inflation. They don't beat inflation. It's the whole thing is just silly that people think, oh, the Fed is raising us, going to beat inflation. With that said, can the Fed cause a recession? I don't see that necessarily either. I just don't. I suppose, I don't know. I don't think so. You can't have it both ways. I'm talking about me now. I can't say the Fed, because I've been thinking about this a lot. The Fed can't beat inflation, but the Fed can cause a recession. That's not consistent, in my opinion. Because you're saying, well, they can't beat inflation, but they could put the economy on its back by raising interest rates. The reason they can't beat inflation is because it never has worked. Now, people use Volcker in 1982 as an example. They were raising rates freaking for the previous 10 years before that, and it didn't whip inflation out. It didn't win. So it just happened to be that time it did. Why? Was it because Volcker? Or was it just because something magically happened with less regulation, which is what I attribute it to, starting under Carter, by the way. But then you can't turn around and say, okay, but if the Fed raises 7 times, that's going to cause a recession. I actually think the recession is already here. Obviously, it's not. I mean, you always could be in a recession. Remember, recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. That's it. All right. So could we be in a recession now? Sure, but we don't know because it has to be 2 consecutive quarters. And the last quarter was not recessionary. It was growth. So this quarter is recessionary. It still takes another quarter to make it a recession, if that makes sense. Again, that's just a decline in gross domestic product. I actually think it's coming, 100%. I don't think it has anything to do with the Fed. I just think the economic stuff is bad out there. And I don't think anyone should, freaking scream bloody murder and, go jump off a bridge. It happens. Hey, right on, man. And I wish that weren't the case, but recessions happen. It happens in command control economies. Stalin, North Korea. It happens in fascist economies like the United States. I know that ticks a lot of people off when I say it's fascist. But look at what fascism truly is. It's freaking big government and big business with a little bit of big labor thrown in there. I don't know how else you can look at big pharma and not declare this as a fascist state, man. And that doesn't mean there's jackbooted thugs and freaking whips and chains and Hitler coming. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means from an economic perspective, this is not capitalist in the true nature we think about it. It's somewhat still entrepreneurial, which is why I love America. But it's not. It's certainly more fascistic than it is capitalistic, if that makes sense. And I know people say, whatever. Whatever. People think what they want to think. I might have to update the app. So before I forget, I just want to share this. I saw this today and that kind of cracked me up a little bit. This will confirm what they say that I'm a Russian stooge. How vaccination status might predict views on Russian invasion of Ukraine. Now, I don't know who Grant LaFleche is. I don't know, I can't get it, but it's unvaccinated Canadians are about 12 times more likely than those who received 3 doses to believe Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine was justified, according to a new survey. The poll found that 26%, the poll found 26% of those who identified as unvaxxed, your old buddy Josh, agreed that the Russian invasion is justified, with another 35% not offering an opinion. This compared to only 2% of surveyed Canadians who said they had 3 doses of the COVID who supported the attack. Now, I mean, that's a stupid question. I don't support the attack, and I don't support the invasion either. To say, do you support the attack is just dumb. I would say I certainly don't support the U.S. propaganda war against it, and I certainly don't support the U.S. puppet regime there. But to say you support inherently you support the attack, that's a false dichotomy. It's just trying to make they're trying to make the anti-vaxxers. They're just look. I guarantee if you actually read the question, it would not say, "Do you support the attack?" I guarantee you say something along the lines that the media can twist it to make us crazy anti-vaxxers look crazy. Like, we get it, man. It's all about minorities. They're trying to say, "Oh my goodness, those crazy minorities! Not only are they unvaxxed, but they support Putin." The vast majority of Canadians don't. You should see. Canada kissed my butt, man. That's all I gotta say. There's some good people in Canada, 100%, but it's not that many anymore. I don't get all these people trying to flee to these countries, escape from the U.S. U.S. is the last bastion of freedom, man. Escape to Sweden. Look, Sweden did great under COVID, but they still were pretty heavy on vax, pretty heavy-handed on vax. Why would you want to escape the United States? Doesn't make any sense to me. Bonjour, said Felipe LeBlanc. Right on. All right, cool. Maynard, Texas had his one-on-one with J.O. today about Medicare stuff. A very smart guy. Right on, man. We got some more New Jersey. Yeah, anyway, I don't expect the Fed to raise rates just because I don't think the economy is going to be burning hotly enough for them to say, "Oh, we're going to whip inflation out by raising rates." I mean, I absolutely could be wrong. Rebecca's in the house. Right on. All right, my man Chicken Charlie says, in a variable annuity, where do the dividends go? In a regular mutual fund, each quarter I see the dividend in my brokerage account. Yeah, so variable annuity, the dividends just go back into the investments. They're never going to show activity in a variable annuity like they would in a 401k. So a 401k, because they're mutual funds and ETFs, you will see an activity. Well, I shouldn't say never. I don't expect that to be seen in a variable annuity. I just don't. They're going to say, hey, your account. I actually, frankly, it's been so long since I looked at a variable annuity statement. I'm just trying to think. Your account was 200,000. Now it's 205,000. Yeah, these fees, but actually, I don't know if they show activity on a dividend and capital gain. I'm not sure. But they'll reinvest it into the funds inside the VA, the variable annuity. Yeah. So both came on your subscribe where you actually click on the videos. All right, so maybe it is my app then. All right, good. I didn't know you had to update the app, so I thought it automatically did. Maybe I gotta. I mean, you gotta delete it and redo it again, or just go to the app. What do you gotta do here? Hold on, just a second. All right, hold on, just a second, amigos. Let's get ready to rumble. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, we'll have to figure this one out later. Settings. Weird, man. All right, we'll figure it out. Just one other thing here. General. I don't think that's it. Maybe I'll just delete it and come back on. All right. All right. William says, if you're in retirement living on cash for a few years, should you take from your IRA to match the standard deduction value? Yeah, 100%, William. That makes sense to me without question. Tom says Nancy has a nice. She's like 90 years old, man. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. Tom's from Maryland, and so isn't Nancy Pelosi. Wasn't her dad the mayor of Baltimore? Yeah. So William says, if you're living off cash, should you take some IRA money out to equal your standard deduction? Yeah, that makes sense. 100%. All right. Oh man, Adam's helping with a refugee situation. Right on. Big election in Hungary on April 3rd. Did not know that. Yeah, Shane says, thanks for the great info. You're welcome. We got, I got something. My employer has retirement options for healthcare. Obviously, looking at cost and options available. Anything else I should consider? My employer has retirement options for healthcare. Obviously, looking at costs and options available. Anything else I should consider? Not that I can. You got to consider what they cost relative to what you can get outside your employer. There's the only way I'd look at it. Ray says, would never thought Pelosi had a gun rack. Does she have a pickup track too? Oh my goodness. That's funny. I mentioned buying Berkshire as an alternative. I mentioned buying Berkshire Hathaway as an alternate to Wellington. I guess. Berkshire's got a bunch of cash. I got no qualm with that, but yeah, I guess I can see that. I don't know if I probably did mention that just because Berkshire has a bunch of cash. I wouldn't do it. Wellington, the nice thing about Wellington is they actually buy stocks that pay dividends, and Berkshire doesn't. And I'm not sure that Warren Buffett's big on dividends. So I think I wouldn't buy Berkshire in lieu of Wellington. No way. I saw today that Vanguard is being sued. Yeah, I saw that too, man. Vanguard is being sued over one of their target date funds for paying all the capital gain stuff. That was that guy, Rob Berger, whatever his name is. He did a pretty good video on that. Now, off the top of my mind, I can't remember exactly what happened, but it didn't seem disingenuous or nefarious to me. It didn't, but maybe it was. But it seemed like that guy said, I forgot what it was. Oh, baby. But I saw that video by Rob or Bob Berger, and he did a pretty good breakdown of that a couple of weeks ago. But I didn't get the impression of anything nefarious there, but maybe I'm mistaken something. Fascism destroyed the German war machine ultimately. Yeah, absolutely. It's just sad. Everyone's 100%. And communism destroyed the Soviet war machine, and ultimately will destroy the Chinese war machine too. But I'm still trying to think, how many countries has China invaded? Not too many. And yet here we are. This is what ticks me off. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone's like, look, I get it. When the red, white, and blue comes, you're happy if you're in a freaking foreign land and you're a stranger, or you're in a land that's Ho Chi Minh, not Ho Chi Minh, Ho Chi Minh, but Pol Pot is breathing down your door. You're happy to see the red, white, and blue. I get that 100%. We don't have the manpower, the resources to do this, though. That's the problem, man. And we just, because what happens is we start, getting involved in this stuff, and next thing you know, what used to be advisors becomes full-on units of artillery, of infantry, of cavalry, and the whole thing. And now we're like, I don't get it. Now, one guy did say, and I thought this was a good counterpoint to if we sent, and I don't want to do it, but if we sent planes to Ukraine, he said, well, the Russians were funding the northern Vietnamese. They were literally funding them, and we had boots on the ground in Vietnam, and that didn't start a World War III with Russia. Pretty close, though. But that was this guy's argument. He's like, just because we send anti-tank or anti-aircraft and airplanes to keep the no-fly zone doesn't mean it has to be World War III. And that's actually a good point. His example was Russia literally funded the VC, and that did not start a hot war between us and Russia. I'd rather not get that close, frankly. And I don't know what this whole need to support the Zelensky regime is. I just don't get it, man. It's weird to me. That guy's a clown. I don't like the guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. And the fact that all these people who are pro-Americans don't see what the hell is happening, which is the loss of sovereignty by joining the EU. And yet somehow Zelensky is going to be a sovereign governor of the Ukraine, even though all he's doing right now is trying to consolidate the media outlets into one. He's banning political parties. He's pissing off the Israelis. I'd love to see what Bill Kristol and the neocon warhawks say about that, because that's you can't be pissing off the Israelis, man. The neocons will freaking just scream at you. I guess Zelensky can, though. It's kind of strange. I wonder what Whoopi Goldberg has to say about that. All right, so my man pooping while standing makes the ultimate mistake here. All right, so he says, by the way, I've done the portfolio visualizer looking at Berkshire versus Wellington, and Berkshire B, because it's two classes, is far and away better. Is. We don't know that will be. I cannot stress enough. I know I'm just picking on, but just because it has done doesn't mean it will. I cannot, like everyone says, the market's always come back. In fact, Jill has sent me a good story on that. I don't think I have it up here. Talking about, I'll do a video on it tomorrow because this is, let me find that real quick. Hold on a second. I'm going to find this article. Bear with me. I don't even know what the markets did. Did the markets go down or up today? I'm predicting down. All right, so Dow was down 200. The S&P was down less than 2 points. Wow, big deal. All right, right here. Here's Jill had sent me this today. All right, let's check this out. Dave Casper. You know what Dave Casper's nickname is? Anyone want to guess? The Ghost. Just like Dave Casper, who used to play for the Raiders, number 87. All right, so let's see if we can't see what this article is. What are you griping over there, big boy? Big boy? All right, here we go. Finally, good night. Good night. Sleep tight. Isn't that weird how some Bibles so two or more from Matthew 18:20, and some say two or three gathered? I've always understood to be two or more. And I'm looking at all the Bibles I have in my house. I got a bunch, and all says two or three. And I always thought Matthew 18:20 was two or more gathered. Well, let me just read it to you if I have my reading spectacles, which I do. So here's Matthew 18:20. All right. For where two or three come together in my name, there I am with them. I just find that interesting. And yet I never, so someone pointed out to me, it now says two or three. I said, really? I always thought it was two or more. I could have sworn it always said two or more. And so many of you thought the same. And then some of you guys look at your Bible, and some guy even looked back at Bible from like 1950. I said, wow, that's nuts. We got some Russian. Oh, that must show that I'm a Putin stooge. My wife's dad was fluent in Russia, Chinese, Mandarin. He was fluent in Italian and German. Anyway, long story. My wife's mom was fluent in Chinese too. Anyway, so we got some Bibles upstairs that were in Russian, from back in the 50s and 60s. It'd be interesting to see what those said. I just got to find them. But isn't that weird? It's like, why do we always think it was two or more and not two or three? How did it two or three? It's just, I find it interesting. I don't think, again, I don't know what to make of it. I just find that weird. We always thought it was two or more. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to share this guy with you. This is an opinion piece from Market Watch. Mark Holbert. Now, I like Mark Holbert. Mark Holbert's, I'm a fan of this guy. So this would not be fear porn like the crap I talked about earlier today, because Mark's been around for a while, and he's a good guy, man. I mean, I don't know if he's a good guy. He might be up to no good in his personal life. I don't know. I'm just saying I like he's in a fear porn pusher in any stretch. He's actually well thought out and well received. The stock market doesn't necessarily produce handsome returns over time. Well, okay, that's okay. Handsome. What's define handsome, Mark? I haven't read the article. I just, but the March 2000 NASDAQ top is a harsh reminder that the long run isn't always your friend. 100%. Let's just see what he says here. All right. The NASDAQ component was closed at March 10th, 2000 at 5,048. Remember that like it was yesterday. By October 2002, it was down to 11,114, a decline of 78%. Yeah. And it took until in the chart above, it took until March 2020 for the NASDAQ adjusted for inflation to get back to where it was on March 10th, 2000. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, look at that. Adjusted for inflation. And you really probably need to do that, 100%. In the chart above, it took until March 2020, 2 decades after its peak, for the NASDAQ to get was still lower than where it's been at the top. That teaches a valuable investment lesson. The stock market doesn't always produce handsome returns, even over periods that many would consider long term. Yep. NASDAQ has produced an annualized real inflation adjusted return of 1.8% since 2000. Look at that. That's nuts, man. I didn't realize it was that bad. That's nuts. Now, look, you got this doubling basically from freaking 2020 March to the end of 2021, it looks like. And then it's, look at that's crazy, man. I didn't know it was that bad. Wow. The NASDAQ produced an annualized return of just 1.8%. That's far lower than the U.S. market's 200 plus average. A 2-decade period in which stocks lose ground in inflation is a scary prospect for those whose retirement financial security is predicated on stocks doing better. What I'm saying. So imagine an investor in his mid 40s, 20 years prior to expected retirement, who follows standard financial planning advice as the bulk of his portfolio in equities. What would it mean to him if the portfolio at age 65 is lower in real terms than currently? Let's see where Mark's making a mistake here. Is he's talking about the person who's in his 40s and what would it mean to him, 25 years later when it's, or in 20 years later at 65, he's adding money to it, Mark. See, that's the difference here. So the difference isn't he's 40 years old, he's got 20 years left to work. The difference is he's adding money. This guy right here, if he retired, isn't adding money. If you're not adding money, in fact, you're drawing it out, you're in the world of hurt. But if you're adding money to it, it doesn't matter. You're like, okay, I'm just buying, I'm dollar cost averaging. Losing to inflation, according to, I'm familiar with this guy here too. At Santa Clara. Yep. The S&P 500 in real terms was no higher in 1984 than it was in 1909. Wow, that's nuts. That's nuts. According to this guy, in 1984, the S&P 500 adjusted for inflation was no higher in 1984 than in 1909. Whoa, that's that's a 75-year period in which this benchmark posts a negative real return. Can't stand that guy. I'm starting to despise that man. I'm trying to think. Klaus Schwab, Sniffy Joe, Zelensky. Oh, I just hate when everyone throws in it's kind of like how they did with BLM and how they did with Fauci. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing with Fauci. Oh, Fauci's the sexiest man alive. Zelensky's the sexy. I hate that crap because you see, it's just this mass psychosis. It's the weirdest thing, man. All right. To be sure, the 75-year. All right. Come on, Mark. To be sure, the 75-year period of staying even with inflation is focusing on the price-only version of the S&P 500. Oh, give it. Ow. Which does not take dividends into account. Oh, come on, freaking Mark Hulbert. You know better than that. But even when including dividends, that's some weak-ass crap there, Mark. But even when including dividends, it's still the case that the stock market periodically endures extremely long periods of keeping pace with inflation. That's weak-ass stuff, pardon my French. Another statistics that really drives home the point, of the 229 calendar years since 1793, 44% have occurred in one of the 6 doldrums identified in Macquarie. But if we're going to use Macquarie and not use dividends, I don't want to use the guy anymore. That's freaking frustrating. We got comments on here. Yeah, let's put a comment. How do you... You lost me by not including dividends in that 75-year time frame. Come on, man. Ooh, better than that. Better than that. Okay, I should be signed up in here. Anyway, let's see if it allows me to post that. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Come on, Mark Hulbert. That's what freaking clowns do. They don't include freaking dividends. Yeah. It drives me up. I hate when people do that. I'm gonna dance the night away. You make me feel. I think I just posted it. Let's see. Oh, now I gotta subscribe and continue reading. All right, I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, I'm not sure if I posted my thing or not, but oh wait, no, won't let me. So I'm just gonna cancel out of that. All right. How many people did I lose because I said I didn't like Zelensky? How many people lost? Anyway, point being is a couple things there. If you're not including dividends, that's just foolish. That I dumb. Part two, though, if you always think it's going to come back, that's dumb too, because you don't know the future. It has. I get it, but it has it if you're pulling money out of the portfolio. Let's go to Portfolio Visualizer, actually. Let's see. We're going to Portfolio Visualizer, and it only goes back to 1985. Oh, what's that? Well, let's see here. Yeah, let's go to don't quit your day job. There you go. I think they got a good. I will tell you a story about a lady I was working with today, a single lady. We got the. Yeah, what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, I love "Don't Quit Your Day Job." If you're not on this website, you're wrong. It's surprisingly hard to find historical market returns on various securities in the indices. I 100% agree completely. So let's see here. Index returns right here. I want the Dow. I want the Nikkei right here. Yeah, these guys are friggin' fantastic. How are they making money, man? I don't get it. All right, so we're gonna go down here. Okay, there we go. Oh man, can I just put reinvest dividends, adjust for inflation? All right. Result for periods. I'm not sure what's going on here. Hold on just a second. Chart for periods. All right, let me look at my. Hold on. I'm gonna go up to my bookmark. Go to investing. Right, hold on just a second. You know, my name is Political Calculate. Oh, there we go. Oh, I haven't looked at it. Oh, wait. Oh, yes. All right, good. Political calculations. Hold on just a second. I haven't been to political calculations in a while. Oh, man, I forgot all about this. Ooh, yeah. Sweet. All right, here we go. All right. So let's share you guys. It's called politicalcalculations.blogspot.com. S&P 500 at your fingertips right here. So we're going to go back from 19. We'll go back from, what do you say, 19. What do you say, 1926? We'll try that. Let's go to 1930, 1929. 1 second. 1929, right there. All right, and then we're going to end in 1984. Right at the end of 84. I'm just picking these numbers out of the air. So 1984 right there. All right, S&P 500, calculate. All right, so let's see. Calculate returns without dividend reinvestment. See, this was so friggin' stupid, man. I hope y'all can see this. 3.44% without dividends reinvested. And what was inflation? 3.3. So you made 10 basis points. Well, I mean, it's not to use dividends. That's just dumb. And yet, if you had dividends reinvested, you more than doubled your rate of return. Hey, so your real return with dividends reinvested was 5% a year. That's net of inflation. I mean, come on, Mark Holberg. That's stupid. All right, so let's go now to that's in 1984. Let's end in 1982. 82, shall we? Let me do. I got to do it up here. 1982. We start in 1982, right there. All right, so right here again. 8% without dividends, with dividends, 3% without, and that's net of inflation. That's before inflation right here. Negative without dividends reinvested right here from 1929 to 1982. Negative without dividends. So I could do a video tomorrow said if you invest in the S&P 500 from 1929 to 1982, you lost money. But that'd be dumb because if you invested in the S&P 500 for that many years and did not reinvest your dividends, that's just a stupid way to invest. No other way around that. And again, that assumes you aren't taking money out or are not adding to it. But you shouldn't do that. You should reinvest dividends for sure. All right, so we got reinvesting dividends 4.44. But what I want to do is I want to go to 1929 to 1954. If memory serves, this was the when it finally came back was in 1954. This is I'm talking this is the S&P 500. It's not the Dow, but yeah, well, same kind of thing here. Index without dividend reinvestment, negative 1.7. With dividend reinvestment, 4%. So all these idiots out there say, "Oh no, you lost money." You said, "Did you add the dividends back in?" Another reason why I can't stand index annuities, by the way, because they use point to point. They don't reinvest dividends, and it's just dumb not to reinvest dividends. That's all there is to it. All right. So political calculations, big fan. I'm not sure how these guys are making money either. To be honest with you, it's nuts. They got recent post paying off your loan early. The 2006, but they got post. It's weird actually. Political calculation. Hey, pay off your loan early, and you can kind of go there. That's good stuff. All right, let's see what else. Yeah. Thought police do desire to change every man's name to Winston. 100%. We got Matt. All right, Matt. What happened to all the U.S. workers? There's a radio guy saying the ski lift was closed because could not have workers. Yeah, man, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of it, man. That's it's very interesting because back in the day when I was growing up, people would kill for a job, kill, but you know what I'm saying. Now it's like, I mean, so like, do they still run off the stimulus money? I don't get it, man. I mean, there's still a big demand for housing, so it's not like they're all living in grandma's house. I don't know what's going on, and no one really does. I just think actually I have a sneaky suspicion we're starting to see the demographic bomb in our very eyes. We got more people engaging in um, hospitality, vacation, whatnot, and less people able to support the vacationers, if that makes sense. And we've been predicting something like this for a while that the older people, the baby boomers, are going to be such a big generation that there's not going to be enough people to support them. And I'm not talking financial. I'm just talking about at the restaurants, at the ski lifts and whatnot. It's interesting. That's a demographic boom, a demographic bomb. And it's not inflationary. I'm just telling you right now. That's deflationary. It's just all there is to it. And it's going to continue to get worse because no one's having babies. Your old buddy Josh had 4, and I'll be friggin' doggone if one of my grandkids, they better each have at least 2 kids per. I'll tell you that right now. If they don't, they're out of the will. They're out of the will. I was reading about, so we went to see the New Orleans Pelicans last night at the NBA. I said, who's the owner of the Pelicans? Because it's weird. They had this kind of beefy guy, not a very good, attractive guy, but he had a smoking hot lady with him. I said, I wonder if that's the owner. And he was, it's my age probably. And I said, she looked out of his league. So I said, I bet it's a rich guy who's the owner. So I looked up the Pelicans, and they were sitting right behind the bench too. And I looked up the Pelicans. It's owned by, I forgot her name, Gail Benson, which is, you remember Tom Benson with a little freaking umbrella, that weird guy. He was, anyway, so his third wife was Gail. Her third husband was Tom. And she used to be a secretary before she had internal design. I'm not internal design, whatever it's called. Anyway, a firm that was, I don't know, long story short, somehow she was able to get set up with Tom Benson, the billionaire owner of the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Pelicans. Anyway, long story short, somehow Tom Benson, he just died in 2018, 3 years before he died or something like that. He sent an email to his daughter and grandkids that he was taking them out of, wait, hold on a second. Yo, ma. I'm doing a live stream right now.
Oh, you are? All right, I'll FaceTime the kids.
All right. Liam's downstairs.
Oh, okay.
I think Calvin's upstairs. You want to say hi to everybody on the? No.
I'm sorry. Text me when you're done.
All right, love you. What time is it down there?
Same.
Oh, it is? Okay. Oh, there's Pablo. He wants to say hello to the baby.
Hi, Pablo.
Oh.
Pablo. Hi, baby. Is that the baby?
All right, I'm going to get back to my live stream. Love you. I'll text you later.
Okay.
All right.
Love you. Bye.
That's my wife. She's in Key West or something like that down there in Florida with my oldest. Anyway, so Tom Benson emailed his daughter saying, I'm taking out the will and the grandkids too. And Gail Benson got the whole thing. And then, of course, the daughter, and I don't know what the hell the situation was with Tom Benson's daughter, but they sued. They went to they challenged the estate, and because the will didn't say that, it was just an email. And apparently the courts found on behalf of Tom Benson, or at least Gail Benson, at his death. Isn't that crazy? That the email sufficed as basically disinheriting the daughter. I said, man, freaking nuts. I don't know why I'm telling you that story, but I don't know where their story came from. All right. About having kids and grandkids, I guess. Michael Pisano says, if I take Social Security at 62, my wife wants to take it at 67. If something happens to her prior to that, do I collect Social Security, which is the higher amount? So I'm assuming something happens to her being her dead. You have the option of what to take for survivor benefits. So basically, you tell Social Security, hey, I want to. I mean, you have to crunch the numbers. You tell Social Security, I want to continue to take mine, or take my survivor benefit, whichever is going to work better in the long run. So remember, you can take a survivor benefit and allow your own benefit to grow. You can absolutely do that 100%. And a lot of widows don't do that. It's too bad. Or you can continue to take your benefit, and that way your survivor benefit won't be reduced because you took it before full retirement age. Clear as mud, I get it. But just remember, there's two different benefits there. Your own retirement benefit and your survivor benefit, which was your wife's retirement benefit. So I was working with a lady today, and a nice lady. She says, a very nice lady. I enjoyed our conversation a lot. And she goes, I just completely knew this as basically, canned last year. They've been wanting to can some of the producers on their team for a while, because they got some fancy schmancy good time rock and roll guy from New York State, and he was going to, solve the problems of the company she worked at. The guy's a clown. Anyway, long story short, she knew she was short time, and then she got severed. You know what I'm saying? And they gave her 6 months, but she got severed. And she goes, I didn't pay any attention to any of this, Josh. And sometimes I don't even follow what you're saying. I said, oh man, I'm glad to hear that. That way I need to even bring it down a little bit. So if I'm confusing people on some of this stuff, I apologize. My whole point was to target people who I want to make sure that people who don't know that much don't feel intimidated to ask questions about financial planning, if that makes sense. Anyway, so she emailed me before our call. She goes, I think I did something stupid. Remember, she just got severed. She's single, all right? And there's no guy in the equation whatsoever. No surviving spouse, anything like that. No kids, no nothing. Anyway, so she goes, I think I made a mistake. I just moved, and she only has, $400,000. I think it's $400,000. She had 430, and it fell to 400. And she said she made a mistake. She moved a half into cash. And I said, Maureen, whatever her name was, and I know her name. I'm just using that for example. So Maureen, that's quite all right, because she is actually 65, and she is going to wait till she's 70 to take her Social Security. Initially, I said, why don't you take it at 67? You're single. Well, it turns out both her parents lived into their 90s. I said, that's not a bad idea to take it at 70. So in this case, she needs, she basically living off $50,000 a year. She's going to wait till she's 70 to take Social Security. I say, Maureen, you got $200,000 in cash. That's the barbell right there. That's the barbell. $50,000 a year from your cash. You know what I'm saying? And the other $200,000 is invested in, I forgot how it was invested. But anyway, Target 2030 fund or something like that. I can't remember. I said, man, it's perfect. Anyway, she's all nervous. She goes, I think I made a mistake. And I said, no. Cash is king. Cash is king. And then when Social Security kicks in, well, they'll basically cover her expenses for the most part. Anyway, so that I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Oh, right there. Yeah, I like Barnes. Barnes reminds me of a populist guy on the right that I like a lot. Big fan. Barnes and Frey had a great, and I support them on locals, by the way. I need to get back on locals more. I haven't been posting anything on locals. Barnes and Frey, Viva Frey, David, had a great breakdown last time of Ukraine occupation, the historical aspect of why we should be concerned about intervening. It's available on YouTube. Wow. All right, good. Yeah, we should keep our what was that old song? Keep your hands to yourself. You know that stupid song. No, tell me no lies and keep your hands to yourself. That was actually a pretty good song. Oh, the 80s rock sucked. All right. Yeah, Rob Berger. Yeah, my man pooping while standing. Said it twice now. He says, 4 years cash. I want to go for more growth. Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, look, if you're trying to get more growth, Berkshire would be where you're shooting for. I got no qualm with that. I'm just saying, just because, and I'm just nitpicking on you, man. At the end of the day, who knows what we'll do better? I don't know, but I just, it's like, what's the meaning of is? That kind of thing is when people say it is better, or I always say, no, change that to has. Doug Kasparaitis. Remember Kasparaitis used to play for the Islanders? He was a capital killer for the Islanders. Oh, I hated Kasparaitis. Urgh. My employer offer options in retirement too. My experiences of you pick Medicare Advantage is to determine doctor network availability if you travel. Yes, I'm not sure. Okay. I think he's talking about Robert Barnes. Yeah. Generally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of Medicare Advantage Part C. I would like original Medicare if you are going to travel. Remember, Medicare Advantage is basically an HMO. I don't know if there's PPO Medicare Advantages. My understanding is probably not. It seems like an HMO, which is why the costs are cheap. But if you're doing any traveling, original Medicare, your supplemental policies, Part G and F, and do they even offer F anymore? G and N, I think. I don't think they offer F anymore. G and N. Any doc who accepts Medicare patients, you are in network for. If that makes sense. Tom Brunning says, what happens to an annuity in an IRA when RMDs exceed monthly annuity payout? Yeah, that's the annuity. I can't imagine any annuity anymore. There were some back in the way old days that they would penalize you for exceeding your annuity withdrawal amounts. Now they don't do that anymore. So basically, if you look, I shouldn't say now they don't. I should say I would be stunned if there's an annuity contract issued in the last 25 years that says if you exceed more than your annuity amount because of RMDs, we're going to penalize you. I bet that doesn't happen. So it's basically you get 10% distribution free of 10% surrender charge or RMDs, whichever is more, RMDs or the 10%. Yeah. So. Yeah, I kind of thought that was weird too. I'm not. Denise? Did he own that fund itself? Yeah, there you go. I'm not. I thought the same thing. Why is he so mad at? I mean, yeah, I was surprised that if I said I can't remember. Did he actually own that fund, the Vanguard fund? China invaded North Korea to attack U.S. forces during the Korean War. Yeah, and we didn't make China. But I agree with that 100%. We didn't have a hot war with China, hot war with Russia. Pretty doggone close though. And at the end of the day, given that Sniffy Joe is called Putin a war criminal, I tell you what, let's try for no war. I mean, I still don't understand people like. So I say, well, it's weird that no one cares about Ethiopia. 500,000 people died in the civil war there. There's horrible things going on everywhere. What are you supposed to do? I mean, just what the hell? What are we supposed to do? And the answer, of course, will be should send planes to establish no-fly zone. I can't believe people don't see what that logic is. I'm like, you recognize now this is beginning of a hard war. Well, it wasn't in Vietnam. Okay, it doesn't mean it won't be here. On top of that, why should we spend? Oh, who's flying these planes? Ukrainians? Whose money is it? Oh, right. Our money, because the war machine never stops and it loves the profits of making more planes. So we're going to pay Boeing to make a plane that's going to be used in Ukraine by Ukrainian pilots who don't know the head from a hole in the ground. They're going to get shot down. Or are we going to enforce the no fly zone ourselves with NATO and American pilots? What are you freaking crazy? I didn't like that when Clinton went to Bosnia, that thing. I was against that back then too. So we should be taking, command of UN blue hats. Hell no. Hell no. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. And after, I've lost my conservative street cred. I didn't like George W. Bush's wars either, even though I supported him like a freaking madman because I did the same thing as people do on my channel. Well, if Putin takes Ukraine, what next? What next? He's coming for us eventually. I said, that's why I said the same thing. If we don't go over there in Afghanistan and get those goat herders, they're going to be coming here. And yet the border just, come on in, boys. It's crazy. And at some point, you just can't stop the world from being the world. You can't. We don't have the money. We don't have people who can run a freaking ski lift in wherever that guy was, Vermont. And we're going to have freaking people sending, the whole thing's nuts. But it's just because wars are profitable, 100%. But you know what it is? You know what ultimately it is to protect assets, i.e. assets of the people who got rich off Ukraine, the pillage of Ukraine, the Bidens, the Mitt Romneys, the Pelosi's. There's another guy too, another Republican. I can only imagine Lindsey Graham, John McCain. I can only imagine they got scratched. It's no different than was it McAuliffe or Warner, both of them, who got rich off the plights of Haitians because their stupid cell phones. You might not remember this. I remember like it was yesterday. The Clinton Foundation basically raped Haiti and gave all their profits on long distance cell phones. So it's not cell phone, long distance calling to Americans. Terry McAuliffe, if memory serves, Mark Warner, if memory serves, I think it was Warner. And I think McAuliffe had something to do with it too. They got rich, just taking advantage of Haiti. And Haiti's worse off than it was before Clinton got involved. And Aristide, who Clinton wanted to keep as a president, I forgot he got run out of town, and Clinton wanted to basically force him onto the Haitian people because Aristide was just like Zelensky is. He was the American puppet. The whole thing is insane. And you're sitting there thinking, and they all have an excuse. We got to stop the Ukrainians from being slaughtered. I'm like, well, Zelensky could do that in 2 seconds flat. You know what I'm saying? But he's the one who pursued NATO and EU. Crazy. I just find it funny too. We got to protect the sovereignty of Ukraine. So I'm going to go into EU. And EU, the minute you are a part of EU, your sovereignty is gone. Sovereignty. That's why UK got rid of it. That's why France hopefully will too at some point say, the hell, we've lost our ability to police up our own borders in terms of how big you can grow a cucumber. How much gallons per flush you can have on your toilet. The EU from Brussels determines that. It's nuts. Oh, okay. Andrew says Rob Berger didn't own the fund. He was just reporting it. Right on, man. What do you mean we don't have the money? We are offering amazing relocation. Yeah. I tell you, man. Not in some way, if these guys, Joe Biden, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and all these guys saying Joe Biden, he's going to take care of blacks and all this stuff. You gotta look, man. You're voting for, it's your fault. You voted for these people, but at some point, you gotta say, when are you guys going to realize these people don't? We're going to send all this money to. I don't think we should send. We don't have the money. We're going to send all this money all over the world, all overseas, and yet, some people voted for Biden under the assumption there's going to be some kind of reparations or something like that, and it never is going to come. And yet, all that money that could have gone to, and I wouldn't give it to blacks. I'd give it to small business. There's no money to give. There's no money. But if anything, you don't send it to Ukraine. You send it here to people who've been put out because of the stupidity of the COVID stuff. Howdy doody. Rob said the capital gains are 40 times normal for those target date funds. Yeah, I got it, Andrew. Parallel Bible's all different, but my wonder is we all remember it. I can almost guarantee if we did a survey, and I won't, but the vast majority of people remember it as when two or more are gathered, I'm in their presence, basically. But you look at it, it's actually two or three. It's just weird to me. I find that's weird. Mike Weiss in the house. Yeah. Rumor has it Pablo may make a special appearance. He did. Two or three, you need two or three witnesses to put someone to death. Coincidence. You need two or three witnesses. I'm not following you, Linda. You need two or three. I'm not following what you mean here. Saving money for the younglings. I should probably just invest underlying ETF sector amounts. Oh yeah, that guy, the porn lawyer. Yep. There's a good blog post on the misquote the verse in Matthew. Yeah. I guess you can't put the link, can you? Or can you? I don't know. Maybe you can. Let's see here. Doug says, I don't have any questions yet. Can I watch anyway? Of course. Yeah. Right. We got poor Pablo. No one likes Pablo. You're not gonna hit the like because you don't like Pablo. All right. But Josh, he's comparing today's dollars to yesterday's. It's not Apple. I'm not sure where I'm way behind. Oh, right here. Brad says, I like mining coal. There we go. It's more of a guaranteed return than anything else. Yes. Oh, man. Perfect. All right. So my man says, if I sell my business and pay capital gains, is the profit added to my income and that raise my Medicare rates? Yes. 100%. What am I missing with Zim? Only a 2.3 PE rate. Oh, yeah. That's too good to be true. 100%. I mean, that's a value stock. And that's the thing with value stocks. They're riskier. Could you make money off that puppy? Maybe. But there's a reason why that sucker is trading at a 2.3 price to earnings ratio with a 22.4% dividend yield. 100%. All right. I saw 420 picking orders at Target yesterday. What was picking orders at? I don't know what that means. Marie said she just got her taxes back and she got extra tax credit for the ACA recovery that Congress just passed. All right. Dennis says, what would you do with an extra $200,000 cash, especially during this volatile market? There's no way to answer that, Dennis. Kevin says, I think they get Social Security benefit at the age was when the spouse died. You can't say, but they didn't plan. See, I'm missing something there. Got change in my pocket. All right. There you go. Got change in my pocket. Okay. Here's DI-FI. Is it true about every 7 to 8 years? If you have money, let's say in the S&P 500, it doubles. Yeah, well, that's a rule of 72. And so if you average 10% a year, it double every 7 years. But that's happened in the past. But it's not. Well, to be clear, it's not like every 7 to 8 years is doubled. It's just if you have a historical average rate of return of 10, that would mean it did double every 7 to 8 years. But that's not how it works because the markets go up and they go down, go up and they go down. So some decades you made no money out of 2000. The odds. Some decades you made 300%. I think, yeah. So it whatever that is, 3 times in the teens. So it depends. But on average, they doubled every 7 to 8 years. That's a fact. But you can't say I have 200,000 now, so in 7 to 8 years I have 400,000. In 7 to 8 years I'll have 800,000. That's not the way it works. A lot of people make that mistake. A lot of people do die. Defini. I never talked about the saver tax credit. Can make $4,000 in retirement, put in your Roth, get the $2,000 tax credit, and then take the money out of the Roth. There you go. You just did it. Good job. Good job. Chef Jeff was in Key West. Fully recharged batteries. Man, awesome. Yeah. Once you read various books on the old days of the jabbas, and then you realize too, my friends, that it's frustrating is what people want. I mean, it's like you would have thought after the swine flu fiasco of 1986 that we'd never come back to even thinking about mandatory vaccinations. And yet in 1986, literally not even 10 years later, they passed a bill to indemnify the vax companies, the pharmaceutical companies. And then lo and behold, just like that, we have this plethora of new vaccines out there. It's just insanity. And there's no liability whatsoever against the pharma companies. And yet people still fall for it. And I was thinking, because I was reading my book this morning, I was like, well, now that's what happened with the COVID vaccine. Most people can recognize the insanity that was. And I mean, when I say a lot of people don't, I get that, but a lot of people do. A lot of people who previously were freaking, if you had said they were, they would have just gone off the top if you said you questioned vaccines. And now they're, they've had I don't know, maybe I was wrong, which is, it sucks, but it is what it is. And I started thinking, well, maybe this will get rid of once and for all this mandatory vaccination stuff. And then I started thinking, no, because even after the swine flu stuff, which literally was Ford's flu folly, the triple F, Ford's flu folly, is horrific. It was absolutely atrocious. It was absolutely insanity. And then 1986, they passed the act that indemnified the big pharma. And it's just like the Masoli-Simpson immigration bill of 1986 when Reagan said this will get rid of illegal immigration. And it did nothing but anything but get rid of illegal immigration. Just like George H.W. Bush's tax increase act. Read my lips. He was promised by George Mitchell, who was the Senate Majority Leader from Maine, that for every dollar increase in taxes, they reduced spending by $2, and they didn't do it. And and he lost his election for that, rightly so. So we have Simpson Masoli. Reagan was snookered on that. If you sign this amnesty bill, it will get rid of illegal immigration once and for all. You got the George H.W. Bush Tax Increase Act, which these are devilish people, man. I mean, Satan is involved in this stuff for sure. I mean, they just lie because Satan lies. All right, and then you got what's his name, Henry Waxman, who thought the 1986 Act would not do what it did. He did not realize the extent of the indemnification, and it's sad, man. It's sad because you're sitting there thinking, well, at the end of the day, what next? Well, now they're all shielded from any kind of lawsuits. We have crazy illegal immigration, and then we had Clinton. The third wave. And it's just, at the end of the day, was Clinton better than George H.W. Bush? Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. Actually, I want to watch something here real quick. Now I'm thinking about it. Hold on just a second here. We're going to watch a video real quick, and I don't think this will be taken down from me. There's Peter Zeihan, nukes in Ukraine. Oh, I got to watch that. I don't watch that guy as much. Am I not subscribed on my main channel? Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Hold on. That's not the right one. Hold on just a second. Nope. What was that? What was that? No, it was, all right, hold on a second. I gotta find this this video. Oh, there it is. I know where it'll go. I think I played this last time. Maybe I did. But there is some cussing in here, so just be advised if little kids are There we go. We're gonna find this real quick, and then we're gonna play it because it's classic. Because this right here, oh man, where is it? Hold on just a second. I'll find it. Bear with me. Hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Oh, what fun it is to. There we go. All right, sweet. We're going to show you guys this. And there's some cussing in here, so just be advised. Not for, what is it called? Not for work. All right, we're going to watch this. If Satan was honest, I think I played this, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just played the link, or shared the link.
Well, the majority of blacks don't want to take the vaccine because the CDC tried to kill them 40 years ago. Oh, how dare you? They don't care. My body, my choice. What about they don't care? They don't care about truth. And this is why your little right-wing puppets don't matter at all. Don't matter at all. Think about the logic behind it. If they really could just force you, why hasn't that happened? Well, they did in the PS. You don't know the people doing it and why. You don't even know. You weren't there. Where'd you see it? The History Channel on your fucking television? From my life, there's been no force. It's only been, you can't be on YouTube saying this shit. You can't be on this. You can't be on that. No one's tried to force a needle in me. If there was a moment of clarity where Satan just wanted to tell you the truth, he'd go, I don't care about the truth. I care about your behavior.
Exactly.
I want you to accept spiritual death. And I will say anything in my power to get you to do it.
All right, here comes Satan.
I will say anything to get you to do anything. I'm going to get you to reject all of your God-given inalienable rights as a living man and woman. And I will use every deception in my power. The one thing I don't have is force. I will never force it on you because then I don't win. So I am going to deceive and scare you in any way I can to get you to choose to do something horrible.
But my body, my choice for you, but not me.
I don't care. I am the great deceiver. I will deceive you into doing something horrifying. Your job is to hold your ground and have your own unmovable ethics and morality so that these tricks do not work.
Oops, I'm not sure what happened. All right, whatever. So the point being is Satan doesn't care. He lies. He lies. He does not care. And I mean, and again, I probably shared this before. I don't care. It's I don't have the book here. C.S. Lewis, talking about screw tape letters. And you just read the screw tape letters. Satan's whole point is to lie, to trick you. It's so frustrating that we get so caught up, and I do too. I get what I'm saying. He just lies. He doesn't care. Thinking back to Simpson Masoli, thinking back to the Act of 1986, thinking back to George H.W. Bush, thinking back to weapons of mass destruction and all the innocent people we killed. Don't forget Madeleine Albright. They said our sanctions against Iraq are going to kill 500,000 children. Are you okay with that? She goes, yes, because the end result is good. She literally said, it's okay for us to kill 500,000 Iraqi children who are innocent because the end result was good. And look where we are. They all do it. They all do it. Someone said, well, the midterms change anything. No, it won't change anything. I mean, look who the Republicans are. Look what our spy agencies, they all said there was nothing there with the Hunter Biden thing. And now they say, oh, yeah, it was. Oh, what are you going to do about it? It's like they lie. They all do. Look at Lindsey Graham. They got him interviewed the other day. Say Joe Biden's the nicest guy ever. And if you don't like Joe Biden, the whole thing's the same. I mean, look, I'm still going to vote for the Republican. Don't get me wrong. And I'll still vote for Herschel if he wins the primary. And I imagine Brian Kemp. I hope Brian Kemp wins the primary. I mean, they're better than the Democrats, but it's not going to change anything. This is impossible. In fact, it's even worse because a lot of times what happens is the Republican Party is so freaking idiotic. They set the stage for people like Fauci to come in and take over. I mean, Robert Mueller, whatever the hell his name is, Victoria Nuland, Fauci. These guys all lasted within Republican administrations too. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is the Republican will be on this moral crusade to fight them over there before they come over here, or they're going to be on a moral crusade for do something. And then the Democrats say, no. Then 10 years later, when the Democrats take over, they say, oh, yeah, good job, Republicans. Now we're going to use the TSA, the Homeland Security. Now we're going to come busting heads. And it's just the Republicans do this all the time. They get some moral crusade that we got to get involved with, and that opens up more and more big government. And the Democrats, they know how to use it, and they just it's all fake. It's not going to change anything. It won't. Not a thing. I mean, again, you should vote for the Republican over the Democrat. I grant you, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. Anyway, for me, that was phenomenal because again, reading C.S. Lewis's book and then seeing it visualized in like a cartoon thing, the explicit nature of Satan, he doesn't care. He lies, and that hits me hard. I'm like, man, he just does not care. He lies. You know who else doesn't care? Let me show you someone else who doesn't care. Check this out. Look at the baby. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, but he doesn't lie. He just says, no, I'm hungry. I want some meat. All right, let's see what we got. Jeff B. late. All right. Can I own a VTV and a brokerage account? Absolutely. Absolutely. You should own a VTV and a brokerage account. 100%. Mm-hmm. My man's 57, 38,000 saved and no debt. No what? What should we say? I said voluntary compliance to my for taxes, right? I just got a note that Viva Frey is live now. All right, gotcha. So pooping while standing will jump off to go see his better friends of Viva Frey. Wisconsin still has lone drivers masking. What's my thoughts on that person's feminism? A woman is simultaneously a victim and empowered until something happens. Then she chooses which state benefits her the most. I'm not sure what that means, actually. A woman is simultaneously a victim and empowered until something happens. Then she chooses which state to live. Well, you know what? The problem there is that she's simultaneously that because she doesn't have a good man in her life. I mean, that's just a fact. You get a good, righteous guy, she won't be choosing which state benefits her the most. I look, man, I'm a man. I mean, women need good men to lead them. That's just that simple. That doesn't mean, look, I don't want anyone to say, oh my, that's not saying, look, I got two daughters, two sons, and who knows what's going to happen. My wife and I have a very good relationship of joint, but at the end of the day, this is what the men are supposed to do, man. It's just that simple. And men, so I'm watching this whole thing with a stupid chick or dude, Thomas, whatever the hell that guy's, whatever that freaking swimmer from University of Pennsylvania. And all these right-wing neocons were saying, when are women going to stand up? And I'm like, this is the problem, man. Like, you guys are so freaking, what? Oh, we're going to let women fight the battles for us, huh? It's just as crazy. And I don't know. I got no, look, I don't like that person winning the swimming. It's freaking nuts. We all know it's insane. But for conservatives to say, oh, women, you got to do something about this. Well, they did. And they chose that they're okay with this, or else they wouldn't have voted the way they voted for that. It's just that simple. And the men are just like, well, I guess if they like it, it's okay. And that's basically what we've said. We said, well, no, if the women like it, it's okay. And you're like, well, when are you going to stand up, men? We had the Title IX. That hurt men. But we're too afraid to say no. Men are better in sports. They're more physical, more active, stronger, faster. It's not even debatable. It's not even debatable. And so Title IX comes around, and we got, they're getting rid of men's sports because, and actually that doesn't bother me that much, frankly, because you're sitting there saying, well, women are taxpayers too. But the facts are there's not as many women athletes as there is men. And so as such, you said they're okay. So we're going to have 50 scholarships for men, 50 scholarships for women, because that's fair. And that's a good argument. But at the end of the day, like, well, how many men play sports versus how many women in high schools? We'll just use that for example. And that's what it should be based on, the actual athletic prowess, not the prowess so much, but the athletic participation. And you can even use cheerleaders. And I don't care. I don't care. But I mean, that's the thing is men just, it's freaking, I don't know what happened, man. And again, the whole point is hard times create strong men create easy times. Yeah, I don't know what that saying is, but a circular thing. And we are now at the precipice of hard times, because weak men create hard times. That's what I think it is, because men have been weak. We've neglected our duty to raise our families and be in charge. And again, if you think for a second, I sit there and tell my wife, we're doing this, honey. It's not like that at all. We have a good relationship, but at the end of the day, it's, I don't want to say it's my call, but I am the leader of the family. It's just that simple. And that's, what's something that's funny? That's what women want. Why do you think they choose the safety of the government? Because the government protects them. That's why. That's why they vote for the Democrats. Because the Democrats protecting them, because there's no man within sight to help protect them. Now, why? Because men freaking wanted to use them for their bodies, one. Two, men became stupid feminist men. And like the woman's like, dude, I'm not going to procreate with you. You're a clown show. And men were cheating on them. Look, do women do crazy? Absolutely. I'm just coming from a man. But if you're looking at a woman as your sex partner, look, we've all, well, I don't know, but I know what it's like. You're like, man, that's a hot chick. You know what I'm saying? But I want to, I just, let's get drunk together and see where it goes. Men have done that. The lady wakes up the next day, feels taken advantage of. Rightly so. You should have done that. I tell my kids, man, and my boys, I said, do not have any sexual intercourse before you're married. Don't do it. I don't care what anyone says. You're opening up to nothing but risk and pain too for you and the people that you have sex with. Oh man. Anyway, the point being is men have failed. And if men are going to be the leaders, we have to hold ourselves accountable for the failing that we've had. And as such, is like I look at feminism, I say I can't blame them. I mean, think about it. You're raising, your kids in 1960s, 1950s. Your husband's going on these freaking little romps to sales pitches all over the country. Your husband has a freaking fling, and you come home and you're like, you're the one holding the wet bag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't blame the woman for saying this isn't how it's supposed to be. I didn't, I'm not raising my kids so my husband can go off to work and have freaking go out there and do stuff with other chicks and party like it's 1999. So I'm going to be a strong woman, and I'm going to go and bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan. Nah, man, that's where we fell off. You got to look in the mirror for the men and say, what did we do wrong? I know. Look, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Trust me, my own family, I've seen that a million times a Sunday, and I said, man, just freaking the lack of being able to control what's in your pants for a man is, and then throw some alcohol in there. That's our fault. What I'm saying. Anyway. All right, so Jay Peaks is 64. He's retiring. Should I invest with annuity with an income? See, this, I don't know. I don't know what the circumstances are. So he has 130,000 as 401k. Should he invest in an annuity with an income rider? Anyone who says yay or nay, because they hate annuities, no, and they love annuities, yes, they don't know what the hell they're talking about because they don't have any idea of what your circumstances are. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Melanie. Yeah, I like tips. No problem with tips at all. Patrick. Yeah, no, not an issue. What are your thoughts on investment programs that give you protection? Yeah, I'm not a big fan. They used to, back in the late 80s, they had this thing called portfolio insurance. This is before I was actually involved in, but I studied it when I was in college, and it just didn't, and none of this stuff pays out. So what happens is you're basically paying for insurance. Now, if you want to do like puts and options on that and hire some, firm to do that for, I got no qualm with that. But, they're giving you a 20% downside protection, limiting your gains to 100%. I get 100%. I get all that. I just, at the end of the day, my radar goes up, my spidey senses, because I remember portfolio insurance. I remember a lot of the annuity stuff back in the old days never panned out like they promised, simply because they overpromised. And a lot of universal life insurance, a lot of these guys overpromise and underdeliver. And you don't know that you're going to be underdelivered until it's too late. It's just a fact that, I've sold annuities. I mean, I've sold them myself. And so I'm not I'm not an anti-annuity guy. I'm not stupid Ken Fisher. But I'm just saying at the end of the day, when you're factoring on those fees, it's awful hard to make it's awful hard to turn the turbine. And on top of that, not just that's the fees on the annuities, when you're not using dividend, as we talked about earlier in this episode, if you don't have dividends reinvesting, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And a lot of these programs, they don't reinvest dividends. And that's, you got to have your dividends, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, look, I talk about this a lot, and well, probably not that much, but I've had talked about where I can see the benefit of index annuities, because they give you downside risk. I get it. I can, in 2000, you would have loved to have done an index annuity, big 100%. The problem is that the dividends you're leaving on the table offer a lot of protection against downside risk too. Not to the extent that an annuity did, but not only does it offer downside risk mitigation, but it also gives you upside without the ceiling. Just look at Wellington, for perfect example. From 2001 and 2, Wellington was down 1 year, 2002. I mean, but it wasn't much. In 2008, it was down 22%. I mean, that's bad, but it wasn't, in my opinion. If you look at the history of Wellington Fund, I wrote a book on it. The short-term risks are well worth it for sure. Historically, will that be the same? I don't know. That's the problem. People forget the guidelines within a week, 6 feet or closer than mask. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jeff. This is what they want. This is what the cabal wants. They want you super busy so you don't take the time to inform yourself. So we all chase that carrot. Freaking the bread and circuses. HW believed too much on the top side of the laugh. George H.W. Bush. The Romer study proved that tax revenue stream was impeded at a much lower tax rate. And I'm not sure that Christina Romer, I wouldn't trust her to save my life. I don't think you can prove anything in economics, Ray. We prove it. It's kind of like saying we prove that higher interest rates will nip inflation in the bud. It just doesn't do it. We prove that a high debt to GDP will be high inflation, high interest rates, and we just don't see it. There's no proof. And Christina Romer, she's a clown show. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Clown show is Christina Romer. I don't know who the other Romer guy is, but there used to be a senator wasn't there a senator or something like that from Colorado, Romer? I don't know if they're kin. I don't know. But right. Jeff Melvin, who plays for the Melvins, is 2 years. Well, you can't really, I mean, Harvest. Oh, okay. Yeah. 2 years from retirement. Yeah. I'm. So we had fresh Jeff, Jazzy Jeff Melvin, who plays for the Melvins. There's a band, by the way. Anyway, he says he's 2 years. Most of my money's in 401k. Sounds like he's fully invested. I would take some gains off the table unequivocally. Yes, sir. Without question. Without question. Christmas in March at the Scanlon House. I'm not getting it, Ray. Brad says we have a lot of Amish in our area. They never locked down, did not mask, did not get the right 100%. That's just, how dare you? How dare you? Amish get a lot of sun and vitamin D and work. Is there any? I mean, when we lived in Virginia, there's some heavy set Mennonites, but Mennonites they do a little bit more modern than the Amish, but not that many. Not that many heavy set Mennonites. That's for sure. The greatest lie that Satan ever sold is to convince people 100%, or to laugh at him. He's just a cartoon character in tights. Kind of like that video I just showed. He looks like Satan. He's a silly guy, but that's what C.S. Lewis said, that he never existed, or he's a silly little cartoon character in tights. 100%. It's just it's freaking evil personified, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Just as long as you get off you're straight and narrow with God, he'll do anything, I tell this to myself all the time when I start getting pissed off. I'm like, just remember that's satanic because he's forcing you off. And I'm a sinner. I'm a big hypocrite. Like Paul talks about it all the time. I said, I wish I weren't like that. And I pray, I said, I don't pray enough. Give me the strength to recognize Satan's evil deeds. But he's not a little silly cartoon character in tights. And he certainly exists for sure. All right, Ray, we're going to have to ban you. Better C.S. Lewis read than Screw Tape is The Weight of Glory. I actually have not read that. But we're banning Ray for challenging Screw Tape letters. Cannot challenge the Screw Tape letters. I'm just joking. I have not read The Weight of Glory. I did end up reading a I forgot what it was. Just about 2 weeks ago. I'm reading a book right now. What was the book I'm reading right now? It's actually pretty interesting. I took a while to build, but once it's built, hang on 1 second. One second. I think her name's Wells. Hold on just a second. So I read in the morning my nonfiction, and then I read at night my fiction. And who that? Oh boy, what do you want, girl? New dad. It's Connie Wills. I said Connie Wills. 1 second. It's right here. Right. I'm on a live stream. You want to come join? What's that? Hey, cool. All right, cool. We're going to cancel this out. Chloe Grace, look. Hey, Chloe. Hey, what's not? You're good. Why you got to stomp on Pops? Hop on Pop. Were you not trying to be on here anymore? Did you want to show everybody your, your Care Bear shirt, but your Brad Catazee shirt? Yeah, Care Bears. All right. Chloe designed what she designed, but she came up with this idea on a T-shirt that she's marketing to her friends. It's way cool while she's doing that. So this is a pretty good book. If you guys are interested, I'll share it with you. It took a while to develop, but Connie Willis Doomsday book. Pretty interesting. Part of Oxford time travel books. I don't know why. I've always loved time travel stuff. I'm not sure why. But it's getting good now, about 75% of the way done. It's been getting good for about the last 50%, about halfway. I was like, man, this better have something going on, but it does, what I'm saying. All right, here we go. Rad cow disease. Look at that. Rad cow. He's got a mom tattoo. He's got chains. He's on a skateboard. He's got his cool sunglasses. Rad cow. Chloe came up with that. Pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Finnegan, the goat of all lazy dogs. You know what goat means, Coco? That's funny. The goat of all lazy dogs. Look at him. Oh, my lands. That's Finny, you are the goat. Except when he gets when he gets a little fly in his bonnet there, whatever, bee in his bonnet, he'll just go like back and like Finn. Is there anything in that brain that regulates you? Because oh my goodness. Yes, I just got a video from. Yes, I did. Diane Jane, that guy. I did follow him because they had some lady on there talking initially about the stupid pandemic stuff. And then I just have this video that I have in my watch later. Right here. Jesus-based prophecy versus Israel-based prophecy. This is from...
All right, open your Bibles, if you would, with me, please, to the book of Galatians.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. I got to follow so many things. It's hard to keep track of what's what, but yes, I'm glad you brought that up. So that's the Liberty Fellowship Montana, and I came across them because they had some lady. It was the election stuff. That's what it was. It was the election stuff, not COVID. And they gave her a chance to, or maybe I think it was election stuff, and because she got banned, or so I can't remember. Right? Legal Mindset live stream. What the hell is that? Oh, Jeremy, did I hurt his feelings? He's gonna watch a different live stream. Oh no. Viva Frey has much better hair. Look at this. Does Viva have the cul-de-sacs? We call those cul-de-sacs. They're right there. Oh, boy. The founders didn't see, 100% Ray. The founders didn't see the career politician. Yep, crazy. Yeah, Grassley. But that's the problem. The Republicans say, well, I like term limits, except we got to keep Grassley in there because he's so important. And it's just the whole thing is a clown show. And you're like, no, you don't. Let's get someone else in there. But no, because he'll lose the power of incumbency. Well, that sucks. But that's the problem is the Republicans play a little bit more fair than the Democrats. They don't. I mean, it's just that's what there is to it. But you have term limits. Just don't vote for the guy. But you know he's going to win the primary because he's got the money. Yeah, I heard that, man. Prayers for Clarence Thomas. I hope he's okay. Eesh. All right. Yeah, love lust. Yeah. Yeah, that was weird about Scalia. 100%. That was 100. I'll never forget that. And it actually, look, man, Scalia's in a better place, but it was a win for us in the long run. But I remember when that happened, I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. But it turned out, which is kind of weird when you think about it. I'm not saying anything about Clarence Thomas, but by the way, I have, believe it or not, Scalia was 2 years ahead of, or 2 years behind, I think 2 years ahead of my wife's dad in high school. So my wife's dad was in an orphanage in the Bronx when he was young, and a freaking nun kicked him and broke his ribs, because that's what Catholics are supposed to do, because his little brother could not stop peeing the bed at night. Good stuff. So we got priests that are molesting little boys, and we got freaking nuns that are breaking ribs. Good stuff, Catholics. And I'm a Catholic 100%, but it's just before we start saying, bow down to the cloth, let's maybe we anyway, the point being is there's a lot of bad things that happen inside the Catholic Church. So all these, the only reason I got to point that out still ticks me off to this day. A little boy who was given up to an orphanage because his dad ran off. His mom there's no means to take care of him. Sent him to an orphanage, and he got freaking his ribs kicked and broken by the nun because his little brother would have not stopped pissing the bed. Freaking, that's insanity. And it ticks me off so much. Anyway, point being is, so he was a good student, so he found his way, because this one Catholics actually, and I don't know what they do nowadays, but around here, they're going to Catholic school is freaking like taking a mortgage. At least this in the South. I'm not sure about like in New Orleans. I don't know about Philadelphia, but right here in Atlanta, it ain't cheap to go to a Catholic school. Not that any Catholic family with a big family could afford, unlike the old days. Anyway, so he, I think he was in high school in the 40s or 50s. I can't remember. But when we found out Scalia died and we found out he went to this high school, my wife said, oh, man, my dad went to that high school. I said, really? So I looked up the yearbook, and sure enough, man, there's old Anthony Scalia. He's either 2 years ahead of my wife's dad or 2 years behind. I assume it's 2 years ahead. And I got his picture in the book. I'll name the head. I can't remember the name of the high school. But how cool. I want to say Xavier, but I'm not sure that's true. What are you doing? Oh, that took a lot of energy there. There's no way to avoid feeling hurt during youthful sexual adventures. I could not agree more, man. Could not agree more. The road less traveled, explain love less pure. The road less traveled by who the hell was that guy? I came to a fork in the road and I took the one less traveled. That's interesting. There's Camilla Hudson. All right. Well, don't put your, all right. So do me a favor. Camilla, she said she was a certain age and she said how much they have a net worth and no debts. Don't say too much about your circumstance, assuming that's your right name. And certainly there's your picture too. So yeah, it could be a bot. I don't know. But just, if that is, let's just, Chef Jeff, no one knows who Chef Jeff is. Right. So if Chef Jeff's going to say, man, I made bank when I was a chef in Key West. I got $5 million. And here's my bank account numbers. No one's going to know who he is. But if your real name and stuff in your picture, try to be a little bit more secure with your personal data, if you will. Yeah, I like dividend stocks, but you said ETFs or dividend stocks. They're not mutually exclusive. So as I said, a bunch, VTV, I'm a big fan of the Vanguard Large Cap Value Fund. You're not going to generate 5 to 6% in dividend income, but I would think that 5% doesn't seem out of line for a 10-year average rate of return. No way. But yeah, so going back to Camilla, that's fantastic, Camilla. Living frugal, no debt. Bayesian would say the risk isn't worth the upside loss and insured invest. I agree. Thanks to Fire Movement, right on. I'm not going to Idaho. I'll go to Tennessee before Idaho. I know a lot of people have Idaho, but if you've got California tax, look out. They don't like your kind, which is too bad because the people moving these places are only making the other states more red. I wish people recognize that. I've said 1,000 times. If only 10, remember, more people in California voted for Trump than they did in Texas. That shows you how big a state California is. There are more Trump voters in California than there were in Texas. So if 10% of those Trump voters in California left and went to other states, that will change the world forever. I mean, think about it. If 10% of those Californians, and off the top of my head, I can't remember how many it was, 600,000, I think there's 6 million voters for Trump in California in 2020. If 600,000, yeah, that'd be 10%, moved 50,000 a month, and they moved to Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia. Yeah, because they're probably not going to go from California to Wisconsin. That would change everything, man. Everything. Or Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, if they're native of there, for sure. All right. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin leg and A. Batmobile lost his will, Joker got away. Hey, everybody now. All right. I just started reading Crime and, oh man, that sounds painful. Ooh, I was telling my son, I don't know if y'all ever read Thomas Wolfe, A Man in Full. So if you like Tom Wolfe, and you should, not the original Tom Wolfe from the early turn of the last century, the newer one, Bonfire of the Vanities. And I was telling my boy about A Man in Full because he talks about football right here in Atlanta. And I haven't read that in years. So I'm very much looking forward to reading that again too. I think my next fiction book I got lined up is I can't remember. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, man. All right. Should I put off retirement this year to see all this global uncertainty inflation takes us? Okay. So where does it take us? I mean, what do you think next year is going to be different? I mean, dude, you only got one life, brother. I mean, come on. Look, you got to do what you got to do, but I'm just sitting there thinking, there's a reason you're talking about retiring. You're going to keep working because of what's going on in the world. You can't control it. I mean, but you're going to work for another year to avoid doing what you want to do because of the global situation. All right. Funny how the left wants us to buy EVs but not pay back student loans. They're bored. Oh, Doug's way too diplomatic. They're bordering on the irrational. Doug, the left is inherently irrational. That's the best thing about being the left. You don't have to be logical. You don't have to be rational. You don't have to be consistent. It's satanic, man. And trust me, some Republicans are like that too. But just look at, you hear what Dick Durbin was saying now? that he hopes the Republicans don't give the stupid lady who's nominated for the Supreme Court the hard time. He hopes it's civil. I'm like, oh yeah, where were you there, Dick Turban? Yeah, oh, thanks, clown show. Yeah, I kind of wanted that too, actually, Paul. I was wondering if she's trolling. I completely. How does inflation affect the performance of growth versus value historically? Yeah, well, if you look at growth stocks, which have no dividends, generally speaking, value stocks do during inflationary times. What's going to give you more dividends? Most likely value stocks, because they're going to keep paying dividends as the inflation kicks in. Is the idea? That doesn't mean it's going to be like that. But I'll take dividend stocks any day of the week over de-inflation, and especially in deflation for sure. Dan Trainer's retired. Right on, man. Link to the shirt. We don't have that yet, man. Rad Cow. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna make something like with this guy right here, with that guy. So this version with Pablo. And Denise, you got to email me again what you said to put on that shirt, because I thought it was classy. I just can't remember. I'm negative on the 4% rule. Not a fan of it at all. All right. Ugh. Crime and Punishment. It just, I've never read it. It just, it sounds painful. All right, my friends, I'm going to get out of here, man. 4 Eastern Time live streams with Chuck. He recommends before you jump in with boat, watch his lecture on DVD titled The Destruction of Jerusalem. From his the title of that, I think I like where it's going. I haven't watched that video yet, but it's next on my list of. Oh, look at that! Oh, yeah. My breast thing. Pablo was jonesing for some short ribs I did on the grill today with gas grill. He was going nuts. That was some. I tell you. Don't be too hesitant to throw short ribs on the grill. Now, what I did is I did it for about 45 minutes on a low heat with the oven, the thing open, with a bone down. All right, 45 minutes. It's about pretty much a low heat. I mean, it was still the thing was open, the grill cover. About 45 minutes, and then I flipped them over. They're about this thick. About 4 minutes on high heat. People were asking for more. That was good. And they're short ribs. You don't think you can use those as a steak. You think you got to use them as slow and low. Man. An hour time, those suckers were good. You can even cut off the bone if you want and cook them in a lot quicker. But the bone just tastes so good. Oh, my goodness. All right, there you go. Legal Mind says a conservative lawyer does sit inside with Viva. All right, cool. I think he's out of New Jersey. Right on. All right, there you go. So Camilla is saying, I was never going to render an advice because I know how ignorant you can be towards some kind of advices. I keep my advice. I don't understand what that means. I'm missing it. I'm not sure what's going on there. So Paul asked if Camilla was a troll, and then she goes, I was never going to render an advice because I know how ignorant you can be towards some kind of advices. I keep my advice to myself. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Please, ma'am, I need your advice. Oh, no, we're getting trolled. All right. Look at, man. Right on. We're getting trolled. Please, ma'am, I need your advice. I think we're getting trolled. And I don't know. I just know that Dr. Scott Peck, MD. Right on, man. I'm going to see if we're getting more trolled. Oh, man, I just want to read this. Are we getting... Oh, right here. Yes, we are. We're getting trolled. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is fantastic. Right here. I like the way you drop words. You are inspiring. I'm 38 trying to achieve. Oh my goodness. Paul Smith, you freaking are the man, man. You are the man. Look at Paul Smith. He saw Ruby. How'd you pick that troll duo team right on? Oh my goodness. Yeah, right on. Next we'll put that is awesome. Next we'll put a Bitcoin WhatsApp number. Oh man. That is funny. So Paul Smith, you win the award for the night. I can't believe we're actually I was actually taking in. We are not getting troll boss. Ah, right. Oh my goodness, that is classic. I got taken in by that myself. All right, good stuff. All right, so I fell for it. Denise, you fell for it. Paul Smith did not. So good job. I think it was Paul Smith, right, who said we're being trolled. That was classic. Oh man, I love it. That is classic. Right on. Very clever. Yeah, right on. And, well, they don't make any sense. They're bots. I mean, it's crazy. These people are literally bots, and they don't make any sense because they're not human. It's creepy, man. That's nuts. It's just right here. This doesn't make. We are not getting troll boss. What the hell is that? No one knows what that means. But yet, oh my goodness, that is I'd never seen her before, and I was like, all right, maybe it's a good person. Yeah, right. What's your what? Oh my god. Me too. That's how they get you. Oh my goodness. All right, I can get out of here, my friends. Pablo's got some business to take care of. Appreciate y'all being here. God bless. Let's stay positive. I'm saying that towards myself 100%. I'm trying to be a better guy. I'm trying not to get too picky. I'll more later, but I'm trying not to be such a. I'm trying to be a little bit more understanding, if that makes sense. And it's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I'm goofing you, man. God is good always. All right, we'll see you. Comment bots, Josh. I'm not a bot. God, don't even know what that means. Oh my goodness.